They called us abolitionists, a crown I wore proudly. After all, abolishing slavery seemed the epitome of my faith in a God that held all men were equal and free to worship him, till I met John Brown. Abraham Lincoln once said, "Slavery is founded in the selfishness of man's nature. Opposition to it is in his love of justice." These principles are an eternal antagonism, and when brought into collision so fiercely as slavery extension brings them, shocks and throes and convulsions must ceaselessly follow. John Brown was just that, a head-on collision with slavery. And as I discovered, anyone caught in the crossfire stood the chance of being completely annihilated. John would have considered it your reasonable service.
It's time.
John was born to a cause. His father was an abolitionist before John knew what the word meant. But it wouldn't take long into his life before he learned the height, length, width, depth of freedom.
This is a beautiful country.
Goodness, boy, you are right under feet. Surely you have not completed all of your chores.
Yes, Ma, I did. Pa didn't give me anything else to do, so I'm building a house like Mr. Carruthers does, with the cards that he gave me.
Mr. Carruthers would have done well to have kept his cards. Go and bring in some wood for the fire, please.
Ah, Ma.
Son.
Where's Pa?
He's visiting the minister.
Pa wants to be abolition. Delphia said ain't nobody likes abolitions, causing they make trouble.
Delphia, at the age of 10, doesn't rightly understand all that it takes for freedom.
Delphia said that her pa is always preaching about freeing the black slave. It don't matter if you have to pay with your life or it takes all your money. Well, I ain't got any money, and I don't want to pay with my life.
Son, doing the right thing doesn't always equate to sacrificing your life or your money. It's more than that. It's building with something stronger than paper.
Delphia said only war and bloodshed will set the black slaves free. And God don't like war, so maybe they ain't supposed to be free.
Son, Delphia is forming beliefs about what it will take for freedom. And you are forming beliefs that God doesn't like war. And so slavery must be acceptable. I would call them both lies.
Lies? But Ma, I don't lie.
Well, I didn't say that you lied, son. Just that forming an opinion or a belief without gathering all of the facts, it's building with something that can easily be destroyed under attack. Now, as for your pa, abolitionist or not, a man must choose what truth or lie he can build his entire life on. Only time will tell if that is a solid or paper wall in his house.
Whoa, whoa there, buddy.
Hey,
Whoa,
look who it
whoa,
is.
hey.
You playing Ring Around the Rosie over there, Johnny?
Yeah, a little bit.
Good to see you, sir.
Yeah, nice seeing you, man. Hey, Bubba.
Johnny boy, come on in. Have a seat. Margaret, could you get this young man a refreshment?
Yes, Pop.
Thank you, darling. Sit down, Johnny. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So how you been?
Oh, I've been doing all right.
Yeah? Good. No Indian trouble on this drive, then?
No, sir, not this time. And I brought you 50 head of steers, too.
That's good. I appreciate that. There's always a first time for trouble. I heard some others having some run-ins with them engines, so...
The fellas at Max have said that some have even been robbed by those engines.
I hope you're being careful not to allow that to happen. No sense in you losing out all that money you just made off me now, is it?
Dinner is served, sir.
All right, boys. Well, you don't have to tell me twice. Let's get over here and...
Hey, Bo, how you doing? You been doing any fishing lately?
No, sir. Haven't found the time to, sir.
Well, fish been biting up my way.
Let's get you fed, John, then we'll go down and take a look at the cattle you brung me. You must be mighty hungry after all them weeks on the trail.
So, John, when will you be back, now that winter's approaching?
I don't rightly know, but probably not till next spring. Probably won't have any cattle ready till then.
Well, I want you to know, John, that you are always invited to come visit here. And it doesn't have to be on a cattle drive. You know, we don't get much visitors coming up here anymore. Not since Mrs. Byrne passed. So, you know, she was the one from visiting. So I do miss that woman.
Papa, I'm gonna sit in the parlor for a spell. Let you boys finish up.
How about a coffee, John?
Oh, no, thank you. I'm all right.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm all right.
All right. John, I want you to know that you're one of the most industrious young men I have ever met.
Really?
Yeah, and I want to tell you, your drive is going to take you a long way. You mark my words.
Oh, I don't think my drive can override your cattle expertise, sir.
I appreciate that, but, you know, again, nothing beats good hard work,
No, sir.
except education. Now, I think education is even more important in today's society. You know, you're schooled, right, John?
Yes, Mr. Byrne. My father insisted on my education.
Good, that's good. Yeah, I believe that education sifts the dross of mankind. You know, only the intelligent will inherit the earth. John, let's go down and see them cattle you brought me.
All right, let's do it.
Well, now, that herd looking good, John.
We'll see you next time, John.
All right, I appreciate you having me, sir.
You take care of yourself, young man.
You as well.
I'm gonna have to teach that boy a lesson.
John, wait. I wanted to ask if you've had a chance to read the book I sent with you last time.
Yeah, mostly, I haven't had much time lately.
Oh, well, I was gonna recommend another book to you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've just been rather busy with cattle and...
It's okay. I understand. I just... What was that?
What was that?
That?
So sorry, sir.
Oh my God. You need to go.
Do not need to repeat this again, Bo. I ask very little of you. The leather must be polished.
I'm sorry, sir.
Come here.
I'm sorry, sir.
There's nothing that could justify that. Nothing. I'm gonna be sick.
Hey, looky there. John Brown, how are you, son? Haven't seen you for 6 or 7 months.
Yes, sir. It was last fall.
Yeah, we heard you just brought in a load of cattle for Jenkins. You know, I recommended he get with you, and I wondered if he had or not.
Yes, sir, he did. And thank you for a recommendation. Our request that I give you is thanks.
Well, that's no problem. No problem at all. I don't mind recommending such a fine herd to any of my neighbors. Hey, how about we set a plate for you at the dinner table tonight, son?
Oh, I'm unable to stay tonight. I just figured I'd stop by, say hello, and I have a book I wanted to return to your daughter, to Margaret. She's still here?
Well, I guess it has been a minute since we saw you last. No, she got married and went to Louisiana with her new husband.
Louisiana? New husband?
Yeah, it's been about just over a month.
I've got her book.
I don't think she'll be needing that book, son. She's got a whole household to take care of now. You sure you don't want to come up to the house for dinner?
Oh, that's all right. Guess I keep the book.
All right, you keep that book. I don't think I'll be needing it. You take care, John.
Sir.
John's struggle to find a path was not hindered by his faith or beliefs, but by timing. He instructed his family early on that to stand on the principles of freedom wasn't a choice, but a necessity.
John, how are you and yours doing this fine morning?
Oh, good. Frank, and you?
All good, sir.
What's going on?
Abolitionist meeting. You should come. We could use all the help we can get.
Why?
Taking up the cause, discussing how we can do more. Can you stay?
I really have a lot going on with the farm and the animals, but I do believe in your cause, as you well know.
We need individuals who are doing more than we are now.
Oh, excuse me.
Excuse me, ma'am.
John? John Brown?
Margaret?
Oh, my goodness. John, I am so happy to see you. Are these two yours?
Oh, yes, they are. But what are you doing here?
Oh, well, I moved back.
Oh, with your husband?
No. I'm a widow. He passed away a couple of years ago. I bought McGill's farm.
Well, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I mean, about your husband. McGill's farm. I didn't realize he sold it.
Well, maybe you can stop by sometime with the family. Looks like the meeting's about to start. I have to go.
Oh.
It sure was good seeing you, John. Bye.
Oh, what brings you here?
I came for the meeting.
Well, we came for some supplies. We have to get back out to the farm. We're going to move the sheep today.
Who is that woman I saw you talking to?
Oh, Margaret Byrne. Byrne, you remember her?
Yes, it's been a few years. What's she doing back here? She's married now, ain't she?
Well, she says she's a widow now. But we'd best get going. We have a lot of work to do on the farm. We'll visit soon, Paul.
John, we were only able to get the one. Mrs. Jones.
Welcome. It's okay. You'll be safe. My wife, Mary, she'll get you all set.
That'd be my Mrs. Swinkler.
Hello, John.
Many thanks for... Margaret? Is it even safe for you here?
Of course, John. Bo is always with me to make sure nothing happens. This is Johnny Brown, you recall from the old days.
Johnny? Johnny? Ain't you a sight for sore eyes?
Good grief, Bo, I can believe you. With Margaret? I didn't know that you'd been with her. I didn't see you with Mr. Byrne last time I brought the cattle all those years ago.
Oh, sir. Miss Margaret took me with her, but we back now.
Anyway, we'll talk later. Thank you. Come in.
Thank you, ma'am. Afternoon, Miss Byrne. Mrs. Swinkler. Margaret.
Hello, John.
I was out to check a pasture, and I thought I'd see if you were needing of anything.
Oh, well, thank you for your consideration, but we are not in need for anything. Did the family get off safely?
Yes, they set out the next day. We arranged for them to go up north. We like to try to have a job there for them to arrive at.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. Could I invite you to a cup of coffee?
Oh, no, ma'am. No, thank you. I wondered how Bo came to be with you.
John, I wasn't leaving my friend behind when I got married. Bo went with me clear to New Orleans.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bother. I was just so stunned to see Bo.
John, I couldn't leave Bo here. Not after I learned the full truth. After I saw my father beat Bo, I was very upset. I was going to confront him, but Samson stopped me. You remember Samson. That was Bo's daddy. At least that's what I thought for all those years. Well, anyway, Samson stopped me. I was so angry that day. He told me that it was best that I didn't say anything, that it was best for everyone, especially Martha. I mean, you remember Martha, right? That was Bo's mama. And I, in my young innocence, insisted that Samson tell me why. And sometimes I wonder what our lives would have been like if I had just walked away.
Why?
Well, I wouldn't have been so violently agreeable to marriage to a man I barely knew. I just wanted away from my father, John.
Yes. I remember what we saw, and I understand your pain.
Samson told me what my father would do if I said anything. Bo is my brother.
Bo is your brother?
My half-brother.
How?
Do you understand, John? Why I couldn't leave him behind?
Never mind. Sorry. I understand.
Don't. I was just like this. Broken. Mostly put together, but missing pieces of my heart after I left here. I didn't know till later. Martha was... My father took her because he could. After all, he owned her. Anyway, I married a man who was the same as my father, which just meant more breaking and crushing until I didn't think anybody could put my heart back together. Until I handed it all over to God.
Well, you don't look broken.
Thank you, John. God is a miracle worker. God didn't put me back together just to live peacefully and happily ever after. He put me together so that I could heal others.
I don't quite understand.
You've heard that Representative Joshua Giddings resigned,
Yes, I have. And Representative Giddings should not have resigned. No. After all, his proposal concerning slavery, while those reprobates and dandies sit in Congress doing nothing, was a brave and necessary blow against tyranny. He should have stayed until they kicked him out. But what does that have to do with you?
Well, I was there in New Orleans when that Creole ship came in. The Creole ship that Representative Giddings made his stand on. I watched as the entire community was up in arms at the missing cargo property. Property? Not property. Human beings. People that God created. That's what woke me up. That's why we came back. Just like so many years ago, I could pretend that someone else would take care of it. Or I could do something myself. John, everyone gets tested. Mr. Giddings, you, me, Bo. God doesn't just put us back together when we come to him broken, but he then uses us to pour out his goodness on others. That's the test. Are you willing to lay down your life for him?
I'm not sure I understand your meaning.
We brought one of the women back who was on that ship, John. There were 3 women and 2 children on that ship, and we rescued one. Bo risked his life to help me.
I'm glad you did, but I don't know how that concerns me. I mean, we are all doing what we can.
Are all of us doing that, John?
What are you trying to say?
Are you allowing God to be poured out of you?
Well, yes, but I'm married. I got children to feed. My older sons are helping me establish the farm and to get our wool pedigree. I just can't do much more than I am right now.
I'm sorry, John. I know that you are doing a lot of your responsibilities. I was just wanting to know if you were doing what God was intending for you to do. I had better leave off any more conversation, as I'm sure you need to get back to your duties.
What? Well, you up and left. You left before I could give you that last book back.
What was the name of that book?
The Man of Feeling.
Irony in its finest form.
Oh, John. Going down to the Reverend's place. John, I got something to say. Just gonna say it and be done with it.
I'll speak.
I'm concerned about a woman from your past. You being a married man.
Is there a purpose laid out for me?
Yes, it is. You have a wife and children and duty to them. Most importantly, you have God. Everything must be laid at the foot of the cross, son.
I don't know what you're trying to say, Pa, but you need not be concerned that I will shirk my duties. And you know that I am a man of strong faith. But if God calls me to do more, I will do what I must. If you'll excuse me, Pa. Pa, we hope this finds you well. Tell Ma hello for us. I'm going to make this short, Pa, but we need help here in Kansas. The crop was slim. As I said before, we could only hope at the timing what little we planted would, with God's blessing, be enough. But it is not. It's barely enough to feed one man, much less 4 of us. Pa, the border ruffians have been brutal in their constant war against us. We could use fresh provisions, guns, and some new clothing. We despair that if we don't get some of this before winter, we may not be able to stay here. If you could speak to the Immigrant Association men and see what they can rustle up and send out, we'd surely appreciate it. We know you and Ma can't afford to send us the things we need, and that we surely understand. But the association men said that This is what they do. I suppose I need to visit the New England man tomorrow. Morning, John. Wanted to visit with you about my sons, who, as you know, have gone to the Kansas Territory. I received a letter from them. They won't winter there. It sounds like it was a bit of a rough fall with the pro-slavery men riling things up.
We've been hearing tales of that, yes. Crops haven't been good, and the pro-slavery men's antics ain't helping. We've got guns and provisions, but honestly, John, we don't have the manpower.
I see.
Sorry, we're tied up with our work here, but any man that's gone is already gone.
The boys sure need it.
We got everything they need, and we could easily round up guns and money, but we don't have the men to get it to them.
I understand. Well, sounds as if I'll need to go myself. If it's all right with you, I believe I can take it.
Now, are you sure, John? It's almost winter here. Travel's gonna get tougher the further we go. Now, if you set your mind to it, I won't argue against it, that's for sure. But make sure you know what you're headed up for.
I believe that God has directed me this way. I'll come back and take what they need.
Bleeding Kansas. Many of my fellow abolitionists joined in establishing the future of Kansas being a free state, yet few felt that the cause would cost a life. We were wrong in that. We hoped that words alone would convince men that freedom belonged to every soul under heaven. But as we discovered, words were flint. It all depended on the voice that spoke as to whether they sparked a fire. John and those that followed him cared not, it seemed, if those flames devoured lives. Not even his own loss made Brown question the stance he chose. John, is it wise to think that only an act of violence will change the hearts of our adversary?
The verse, I think, that will be evident of my beliefs, McLaughlin, is Matthew 11:12. The kingdom of heaven has suffered violence, and the violent take it by force.
I'm gonna have to agree with Brown on this one, Jacob. Those pro-slavery guys care nothing except for the loss of income if their help gets set free. Violence is the only way to end this.
As convinced as you that violence and war are our only solution. I struggle that the Lord has no other solution than this.
Now, the last few years have shown that the pro-slavery folks have no intention of giving up their ground. This is pure evil. We must stand against Satan and his legions. Do you not agree?
John, do you not know what they are saying? They are saying that what happened at Potawatomi was flat-out murder. Murder, John, that you killed without cause. Surely our Lord cannot condone the use of murder to establish his will for mankind's freedom.
Those are lies. You know Captain Brown had no choice in the matter. Those pro-slavery guys wouldn't have given us the same.
Aaron, I am addressing what other people are saying, and I am not passing judgment. Now, the cause of the abolition of slavery deserves truth, even if uncomfortable. Southerners will not come here with all of this bloodshed, but neither will our Northerns.
Captain, I was hoping to catch you before you left, sir. This here's Jim. He's a slave from across the Missouri line. He's traveled a bit of distance to speak with you, sir.
Speak, sir. There are no enemies here.
Sir, my master just passed and we're gonna be sold to some new owners. Now, my wife was with child and I have two others and So I just can't let that happen. Now, I've been told that you help others like us escape. I'll be over the river just a ways and it's my family and some more neighbors and they live down the road a bit and they got some slaves that want to leave too. Now, I got some money saved back in case we need to pay you.
You don't worry about the money. You save that up for where you're going. You'll need it. We're gonna need to take them up the Lane Trail. Now, I got 2 men to ride with me most of the way, but traveling down under these conditions, I might need some extra men to guard us.
I'll ride with you, John.
I'll gather the rest of the men. McLaughlin can ride with me.
It's cutting tonight.
It sure is. You got the money for the brooms? Yes, sir. Here you are, sir. That is short of normal. Did you even go to the shops? Yes, sir. I sure did. Everybody said they just don't need them right now. Well, I don't know where Mr. Attorney at Law thinks I'm going to get the money to take care of all you all. And it sure as hell ain't coming out of my pocket.
Did you talk to him?
Yes, sir. Planning on tomorrow night. Need to get some more wood. Mr. Brown said he'd help the others out too. Need to get word to him so they'll be ready. I'll let Samuel know. He'll be ready. Just hoping for no trouble, sister. Got to pray for it.
I'm scared, Jim. Where we gonna go? What about the children? I'm gonna have this baby any day.
I don't have the answers right now. All I know is we got to trust God. Trust God, woman.
Did you bring the bread?
Yep. Let me tuck it under your foot.
Oh, that feels good. Thank you.
You're welcome, darling.
We're not gonna have much room here in this bed if we keep this up.
Girl, where we heading to? We're gonna have the bed to ourselves. The children gonna have their own room.
Their own room? Are you mad? You must got lots of money you ain't told me about.
I'm gonna make money, girl. And we're gonna keep it too. And you know something? I'm gonna buy you a brand new dress every month.
A new dress every month? You a crazy man.
Sister, we're gonna be free. Now, I know freedom might mean that things gonna be tough for a while, but you just watch and see. It's gonna be our best days, girl. Lord, this boy getting heavy as a bear. Elijah, son, I need you to do me a favor later. Now, I'm trusting you much on this. I'm gonna need you to run over later to the Cruz's house and tell Miss Janie we're gonna do it tomorrow night, and she got to be ready. You think you can handle that, son?
Yes, Pa.
All right, good boy. Oh, he getting brave as a bear, too.
He is. He's a good boy, Jim. That reminds me. What you gonna call this child, if it be a boy?
John Brown.
Well, what you gonna call her then?
Johnny Brown. Joannie Brown. Hey, how about this one, sister? Johnetta Brown.
You're so funny, man.
I watched Stevens after Cruz died. Liberator, he said. Coward, he called me. Coward. Am I? And if I am, what does that make the rest of them? The others that stayed silent.
You got your stuff together?
She's mine.
And we'll be taking the horses and mules as well.
No, that's thievery.
How long has that woman worked for you?
For a while, and I paid good money for her.
Well, the way I see it is you owe her some back wages. And we will be taking those horses and mules. Sit down. Anything else you need?
Let's go, Forrest Gump.
Zach, let's go.
What happened in there?
I met resistance.
What does that mean?
He resisted.
Did you shoot someone?
I had no choice. He pulled his gun.
Stevens, what happened in there?
Self-defense. He pulled his gun. I had no choice.
No, 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 you always have a choice. That's what I've been talking about. That's my point. This violence has got to stop. Oh, dear God. Did his family see? Is he okay? My dear Lord, they saw. Is he dead?
I told you. I had no choice. It was self-defense.
Well, I don't believe you. You're a murderer.
No! I'm a liberator. Not all of us are cowards. So you are capable of violence. Good. Let's go. We had a few places last night. The only one that had a slave was the last one.
All right, well, we better keep moving. We're a long way to the river.
Who's that?
He's the owner of the second place we hit. I'll free him once we cross over. In trouble?
This is the last place. He pulled a gun, they asked.
Fair enough. Got any family?
Some 13, 14-year-old, probably girl.
All right. Well, let's round everybody up and keep moving.
Yes.
Kansas Territory, fall 1856. John returns to the scene of fighting the border pro-slavery ruffians after being ambushed. John's son, Freddie, is shot and killed.
Ruffians are coming! Ruffians are coming! They killed Brown. Wait, they killed Brown? He's dead?
Ruffians, they shot him out in the street. Adair, he hit out, and Garrison's dead too, sir.
What is this about my son?
They shot him, sir. They killed him out in the street.
Whoa, 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 where did this happen anyway, huh? Who killed him?
He was guarding the picket at Adair's, and Reverend Blight came with Captain Reed.
No more talking. Mount up! You ever been in the fire, son?
No, sir.
Then you make sure to end life well than to live too long.
Yes, sir. Come on, let's go!
Parsons, you keep your boys here and hold the line. I'll take some men to that timber line in the northern flank.
Captain, what about your son?
Freddie?
Yes, sir. Now, he's over in the smithy. If you'd like, I can gather some of the fellas and we can go see him.
There's no reason, son. He's already with the Lord now. Ha! Come on!
There's 2 lines of them coming up the hill, and they've got plenty of brass.
We can't stay here.
Well, what are you suggesting? We retreat?
Never retreat, just move to a better location. Now, the captain, some of the men, they're flanking, all right? Let's move it!
You 2 men, stay with Parsons, hold the line. Zachary, timber line. Stevens, watch my back.
Ready?
Untie him. And you better run, sir. I can't promise they won't come after you.
Sir, I don't mean to slow us down. I know we got to keep moving. But my wife feared here that this baby may come ahead of time. Is there a place around here we can bed down in case this baby make a showing?
Place I'm thinking of is just a bit further up the trail. You think she can hold on a bit longer?
Yes, sir. She can, sir.
All right. Mr. Wattles, I got a group here as promised. One of the women's about to have a child. I'm looking to borrow that cabin back in the gully.
Yes, sir. It's been a while since anyone bedded down there, but it can sure be of use. Cabin don't offer for much room, though, John. Not for too many people in it.
It's all right. The boys are only here for one night. They can stay in the barn. I'll stay out there, too. We just need to lay low for a bit.
Well, you're welcome to stay right here with the missus and me, John. You know, I don't remember anything in that old cabin. I'll have the missus help me and we'll gather what they need.
You know, we brought everything they need. Don't you worry about that. We got enough victuals for a few days.
Very well. Last one go well?
As it could. I want you to ride over to Montgomery's. He's expecting you to come bunk up. He wants to make a few runs into Missouri. We gotta lay low till that baby is born. You watch out for Woods. He's gonna have scouts watching for us. And I'm gonna leave them in your care for a few days. We have enough provisions to tide us over. We took horses, guns, and plenty of food.
The neighbors and I will make sure they have all they need, sir. No worries there. What do you mean they took horses?
Yeah, we just settled in pay what these families rode.
Now, I'm not one to tell you what to do, sir, but I don't count on stealing, John.
There's no stealing, sir. Just simply paid the debts before they left.
So I just couldn't help but notice, but it seems like you got something that's troubling you on the inside.
I was very astute of you. I really am. Wondering if maybe this whole eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth business might actually be the way God wants us to handle this.
Well, you know, sir, I don't have all the answers, but you know that the Bible tells us that we should not kill, but I also know that there were times in the Old Testaments when the Israelites had to take land by force, and killing was necessary for God's glory.
Well, I do struggle with the idea that the Lord doesn't have any other solution than violence and war.
I understand, and I know we'll never know God's ways fully, but so I just pray that you would have peace in your struggle, and that you would come to know that God's ways are just not understandable, but He is a righteous God.
I appreciate that, sir. Your name is Jim, is that right?
Yes, sir. You're Mr. Jacob, sir.
I am, sir.
It's a pleasure.
You've walked quite a way tonight, haven't you?
Yes, sir, we all have, sir.
Well, sir, I want you to take my mount. I want you to ride.
Oh, no, sir, it's not.
No, I insist. I will walk and you will ride. You do ride, yes?
Yes, sir.
Mount up.
Thank you kindly, sir.
It is my honor.
Thank you, sir. Thank the Lord for another day.
Amen.
I still can't believe it. What a gift the Lord has given us this day.
It is, isn't it? It's like a miracle. And you know, it makes a man want to pull out his fiddle and play a tune or two.
You couldn't play a pie tin, sir.
What? Woman, I'll have you know that joy can be made from a potato sack.
And I'm free now. I can finally find a woman of my own.
And amen to that, Samuel. We've been praying for that boy on that one, haven't we? You keep on searching. The right one is coming along, so.
Christmas.
You know, we ain't never had occasion to celebrate this day like we have now. Girl, I am feeling fed up. Busting with joy right now. It's a good thing no children are asleep. Can you believe it, woman? Call last Christmas.
I do remember Mr. Lawrence wasn't well, and the mistress was always worried about him. She clean forgot about the days and what they were. But when has Christmas ever felt like this, Jim?
I felt like this before. It's like I've been born again in a brand new world. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you.
Mr. Wallace, pardon me. I need to speak to you about the slaves, sir.
What about the slaves?
Someone needs to go out the cabin and quiet them down. I can hear them at my house and Harold's.
What do you mean you can hear them?
They're singing at the top of their lungs. We understand they're happy to be free, but they ain't free till they're out of this area. Just thinking you should know.
Very well. I'll ride out after service.
Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere.
Oh. Hello, Jim. Beautiful Lord's Day today, isn't it? Yes, it is. Well, is there anything we can do for you, or is it time for us to go?
No, not time yet. No, Jim. I came out because the neighbors are concerned. They're telling me they can hear y'all all the way out at their places. And now, as I know you're joyful to be on your way to freedom, I must remind you, you're not safe yet. So I need you to quiet down a bit, okay?
Oh, I truly am sorry, sir. You know, sometimes we just get so happy out here. That happiness, it just be busting out of our souls. It's just the joy that we be free, sir. We be free. Lord be God.
Jim, honey, the man said we need to be quiet.
Sir, we'll be real quiet. Mighty sorry we upset the neighbors over there. We'll be happy quiet. Matter of fact, that little baby will be real quiet too.
Well, how is that baby? And what did you name him?
John Brown Daniel, sir.
Good, Jim. That's good, Jim.
Thank you, sir.
That's real good. All right. Well, I'll leave y'all be. Man.
All right.
See.
Good day, sir.
Our journey over the next few weeks was mostly in the night, hidden from public eye. We couldn't have done it without the help of those that risked their lives to cover us. But for the help of several, we may not have made it past Fuller's cabin. John mocked the militia as he walked right into their territory, refusing to back down.
So this is the cabin I was telling you about. I've had my friend outside of it all day.
So the slaves are inside?
I believe so. You want some help?
Yes, sir. Sir, have you seen any slaves?
Marshall's tied up, sir. He ain't going nowhere.
What are we gonna do? These are U.S. Marshals. They rarely travel alone.
He's right, sir. And crossing that river ain't gonna be easy till it crests.
Mr. Brown, what we gonna do? They're coming to get us. Lord, don't let them take us back.
All right. After dark, I want you to go to the neighbors. Get that Richie man from Topeka. We're gonna need reinforcements.
Okay.
Come on, Jim. It's all right.
What's going on?
Captain's hell-bent on finishing this mission.
That river?
You tell him.
Captain, what do you propose we do?
Cross the creek.
Fuller Crossing's real bad right now. Water's too high to cross. Now, I sent a boy ahead earlier, and he said about 5 miles north of here, we could easily cross.
I set out on this lane road, and I intend to see it through. There's no use of anyone talking of turning back or leaving anyone behind. If you're afraid, you can go back. The Lord set me on this path, and I intend to follow it through.
Not up.
By the time we reached Smith's, we had all woke to the fact that the passive abolitionists were against us, even as they reacted in aversion to Captain Brown's presence. I found myself siding with him and oddly wanting to protect him.
Hopefully we got enough firewood for the night. Are you warm enough? It's Brown.
Charles, I don't think we should welcome him here. You know what they're saying. We can't condone this man anymore. He's killed a man. This isn't right. Charles, I'm afraid. What if he's turned outlaw?
It'll be okay. I'll go talk to him.
Are we allowed?
Evening, sir. Name's John Graham. Set up several places to take your men and the freed slaves.
Well, we also have some prisoners, but they can stay in the barn if necessary.
Can arrange that. I'll have you stay with me. I have room for one of the families as well.
Well, Jim, you and your family can stay with me. Stevens, take the prisoners to the barn. Let's keep an eye on them till we decide what needs done. Now, if you could divide your men up and take these other families so they can rest.
Yes, sir.
I am guessing that the news has not been complimentary towards me.
Learned, sir, that truth is rarely repeated. Wow, with rumors heralded upon the hour.
I would like the truth to be known to at least a few, then.
Does it really matter what someone else's truth is, sir? I mean, I, for one, am content that I was rewarded God's work through you.
I thank you, Jim, for your kind regard. But I am convinced that pro-slavery men would like for only their lies to be known. So I must speak the truth wherever I am allowed.
Please, speak then, sir.
I believe that the events of the last journey have not given us good report. Now, my intent to serve the Lord has not changed from that day until now. I believe I am called to break the bonds that hold my fellow men in slavery. Now, we did that when we were in Missouri. We did that without weapon. Paper walls. My mother told me that we build our houses with walls of paper, gold, or silver. And it will be known what they are made of when they're tested by fire. I'm guessing the question is whether my actions have provided the spark that started the fire that is needed. Either way, I stand by the walls I've built.
Well, if that be the case, sir, then we as slaves have to be responsible to examine our own walls. Look, we knew that the cost of freedom wouldn't come without a cost. We had to weigh it in our own minds, whether the price of freedom was higher than the price of slavery.
Higher price than freedom?
Yes. Sir, the prison of slavery, it's safer than the unknown world of freedom. It takes courage to walk out into freedom. It just may be a coward's way to stay in slavery. We all know what the Bible says about cowardice, having an eternal price in hell itself.
You and your people cannot be called cowards. Of that I am convinced. If there are true cowards, then the Northern abolitionists may hold that term dearer to their hearts than those who boldly proclaim to be pro-slave.
What do you mean?
Northern abolitionists may believe in the freedom of a black man, but some of them halt at what that freedom may cost to attain, nor do they agree on what freedom should look like for a black man.
So you believe that freedom should be to all, as it is to us?
I do. I believe I am called to make freedom a reality for all men. no matter the cost, even if it be my life.
John Brown said that he would raise a storm in this country that wouldn't be stayed so long as there is a slave on its soil. And that's exactly what he did. A whirlwind of a storm that shattered men and their families' lives, leaving nothing behind but devastating chaos. Yet through this storm gave others a clear pathway forward, free of hindrance to pursue their God-given dreams. I wonder if that is the point and necessity of a storm. It removes the temporary, weak structure walls of society so that we can build correctly with solid, time-tested walls of hope and freedom, all so that we can say, it was worth the sacrifice of our lives for this cause.
This is a beautiful country.